You don't see the enemy until it's too late, until it's wearing your wife's face. I'm Diego, 32, an accountant in Culiacán, Mexico, where life was a ledger I could balance, and Elena was the constant I trusted. 5 years ago, we built a dream under a sunset sky, but now that dream's a cage. Her heels clicked home that night, soaked in booze and betrayal, her lips curling with a stranger's scent. Something's watching me from the dark, and it's her, my love, my liar, my unraveling fate. Hey Reddit, I need to get this off my chest, and trust me, it's a wild ride, so buckle up. I'm calling myself Diego here, 32 years old, an accountant living in Culiacán, Mexico, with a life that used to feel like a quiet dream until it turned into a screaming nightmare. 5 years ago, at 27, I married Elena, who was 24 back then, a soft-spoken woman. My mom swore would be my perfect match. She had this warmth, like a candle flickering in a dark room, gentle, kind, the kind of person who made you feel safe. We tied the knot in a small ceremony. Nothing fancy, just us and a handful of family under the orange glow of a sunset. I thought I'd found my peace. After the wedding, Elena chose to be a housewife, said it suited her, and I didn't argue. I liked the idea of providing for us. I worked for a big-shot businessman named Santiago Meza Lopez, crunching numbers, balancing books, keeping his empire tidy. It paid well, really well, enough to buy us a gorgeous house in Colonia Centro, all polished wood and wide windows, the kind of place people stare at when they drive by. Elena had everything: nice clothes, freedom to fill her days however she wanted, my unwavering devotion. I'd come home from long days, tie loosened, shoulders heavy, and she'd be there smiling, a plate of warm tamales waiting. For a while, it was perfect. We talked about kids once, early on, her eyes lighting up at the thought, but she backtracked later, said we should wait, enjoy each other first. I didn't push hell. I figured we had forever, right? The first 3 years flew by in a haze of quiet happiness. Her keeping the house spotless, me grinding at the office, the two of us a little unit against the world. But then, cracks started showing, small at first, like hairline fractures in glass. You don't notice until the whole damn thing shatters. It started with her new friends, a gaggle of neighborhood women she met at some coffee spot down the street. I didn't think much of it. Elena deserved company, I told myself. She couldn't just sit home waiting for me all day. But these weren't your average housewives. Oh no, these were vipers in designer dresses, dripping with jewelry. Their husbands broke their backs to afford. They'd sip lattes all day, gossiping, whining about their cushy lives, spending cash like it grew on trees while their men slaved away. I saw through them instantly: parasites, every last one, leeching off hard work without a shred of gratitude. And Elena, my sweet, gentle Elena, she was slipping right into their orbit. I tried to warn her, one night over dinner, my voice tight as I pushed a tortilla around my plate. Elena, those women you've been hanging with, they're not good for you, I said, watching her across the table, her dark hair catching the lamplight. She barely looked up, just shrugged. They're nice, Diego. It's good to have friends. Nice? I almost laughed, bitterness clawing up my throat. They're lazy, ungrateful. They sit around wasting their husband's money, complaining like they've got it so hard. I snapped, leaning forward. I don't want you turning into that. Her eyes flicked to mine, sharp now, a spark of defiance I wasn't used to. I'm not a kid, Diego. I can pick my own friends, she shot back, arms crossed, her voice edged with something new, something cold. I rubbed my temples, fighting the urge to shout. I'm just saying, be careful. They'll drag you down, fill your head with crap about how you deserve more, how I'm not enough. She scoffed, lips twisting. You don't know them. You're overreacting. overreacting. I wanted to grab her shoulders, shake some sense into her, but I held back, my jaw tight. I know exactly what I'm talking about, Elena. Stay away from them. She didn't answer, just turned away. And that silence? It felt like a slap. Things got worse from there, way worse. One night in July, I came home after a brutal day at work. Numbers swimming in my head, the sun dipping low, painting the sky bloody red. I was beat, craving the quiet of our home, maybe a quick chat with Elena if she wasn't too busy giggling over her phone with those harpies. But the house was dead silent, too silent. No clatter of pots, no hum of her voice. The kitchen was dark, table bare, no dinner, no nothing. Elena? I called, my voice echoing off the walls. Nothing. Her car sat in the driveway, untouched. So where the hell was she? I yanked out my phone, dialed her number, my pulse ticking up. 1 ring, 2, straight to voicemail. Again, same thing. My grip tightened, knuckles whitening, my mind spinning. Did she walk somewhere? Was she hurt? I paced the living room, boots thudding against the hardwood, waiting, praying she'd stroll through the door with some lame excuse. An hour passed, then 2, my frustration boiling into something darker, something jagged. By 10 p.m., I was a live wire, ready to snap. Then I heard it, the uneven click of heels on pavement. I flung the door open, and there she was, Elena, swaying like a broken doll, a sloppy grin plastered on her face. She looked like a stranger dressed in this tight, skimpy thing I'd never seen, all plunging neckline and barely their hem, her makeup smeared, hair a tangled mess. The stench hit me next, tequila sharp enough to burn my nose, and then, oh God, cheap cologne. Musky, wrong, not mine. My blood turned to ice, then fire, rage roaring through me like a freight train. Where the hell have you been? I growled, voice low, trembling with the effort to keep it together. She giggled, leaning against the doorframe, her glassy eyes glinting. Diego, my little number cruncher. She slurred, reaching out to pat my cheek, her fingers clumsy. Help me to bed. I'm so tired. I stared at her, every muscle locked tight, fighting the urge to scream, to demand who she'd been with, whose cologne was clinging to her like a second skin. But she was trashed. Barely conscious she wouldn't answer. Not tonight. I grabbed her arm, hauled her inside, her weight sagging against me as she mumbled nonsense. She flopped onto the bed with a sigh, out cold in seconds, leaving me standing there, drowning in the stench of betrayal. I couldn't stay in that room, couldn't breathe the same air as her. I stormed downstairs, snatched her phone from the counter where she'd dropped it unlocked. Thank God, she never bothered with a passcode. My hands shook as I opened her messages, and there it was, staring me in the face, texts from some bastard named Marco, filthy, explicit, the kind of shit that makes your stomach lurch. Can't wait to see you again, baby, he wrote, and her replies eager, flirty, dripping with excitement, cut deeper than any knife. I dropped the phone, my vision blurring, my chest heaving like I'd been punched. She'd been with him, this Marco, wearing that dress, smelling like him, while I was out there breaking my back for her. Sleep? Forget it. I crashed in the guest room, staring at the ceiling, fists clenched so hard my nails drew blood. I pictured them together, her laughing, him touching her, and it took everything not to smash something, to keep that rage bottled up. She'd humiliated me, shredded every vow we'd made, and I'd be damned if I let her see me crack. No, I'd play this smart, cold. Let her think she had the upper hand, then I'd burn it all down. Morning came, gray and heavy, and I dragged myself through my routine shower, shave, suit like a robot, steeling myself for the showdown. I was in the kitchen, coffee brewing, when she sauntered in, looking fresh as a daisy, like last night's filth had never touched her. She stretched, casual as hell, and purred, "Hey, babe, make me a coffee." "Babe, after everything?" I set my mug down, turned slow, my eyes locking onto hers, ice cold. "Why don't you call Marco and ask him to make you one?" I said, each word sharp, deliberate. She froze, just for a heartbeat, then smirked, slow and smug. "So you know," she murmured, tilting her head. "Did you snoop through my phone?" Cute. I didn't blink, didn't flinch. She sighed, like I was boring her. "Look, Diego, if I call him over, you're out. Simple as that. So keep treating me nice. And I'll play nice too otherwise. Babe, I'll make your life a living hell." I laughed, a low, bitter sound, shaking my head at this stranger wearing my wife's face. "I'm heading to the office. I'll be back at 5. Pack your bags and get out. Clear enough?" Her smirk vanished, eyes narrowing. "So that's how it's gonna be?" "Yeah," I said, voice flat. "That's how it's gonna be." I walked out, her glare burning into my back, my heart pounding but my resolve ironclad. She thought she could play me? Threaten me? She had no idea who she was messing with or who I worked for. This was just the beginning, Reddit. And trust me, it gets crazier from here. Stick around for part 2. All right, Reddit. Welcome back to my train wreck of a life. If you're just joining, check part 1, because this mess is picking up right where I left off. I'd walked out on Elena that morning, 32 years old and done playing the fool. Told her to pack her bags and be gone by 5, her smug little threat still ringing in my ears. "I'll make your life hell," she'd said, like she had any clue what hell really looked like. I was about to show her. Santiago found me in the kitchen, brewing coffee. He strolled in, 50s, suit crisp as always. Like last night's carnage was just another Tuesday. "You're up early," he said, leaning against the counter. I shrugged, poured a mug, couldn't sleep. My voice rasped. "Rough from disuse?" He nodded, lit a cigarette. "Takes time. Getting back in the rhythm. You'll settle." I sipped, bitter heat grounding me. "Back to numbers today?" I asked. He smirked. "Yeah, but you're still my blade when I need it. Dual purpose. Keeps things interesting." I didn't argue, just nodded. We both knew the deal. Sat at the kitchen table, coffee cooling, mind drifting. 5 years with her, building something. Thinking it was real, she'd torn it down, brick by brick. For what? Marco? Thrills? I'd given her everything: house, freedom, love, and she'd spat on it. Called me puny, weak. She never saw me. Not really. Never asked about my scars, my past, Santiago's trust. If she had, maybe she'd have run sooner. Maybe not. Didn't matter now. They'd paid. Blood for blood. Slow and painful. Like I'd wanted. Phone buzzed. "Mateo, my office buddy. Diego, you okay?" Heard some shit went down. His voice tense. "Word travels fast in this town." "I'm fine." I lied. "Just sorting some personal stuff." He paused. "You sure?" "Sound off." I forced a chuckle. "Long night." "I'll be in soon." Hung up. Didn't need his questions. Not yet. Got up, grabbed my keys, headed to the office. Numbers waiting. A lifeline back to normal, or whatever passed for it now. Afternoon. Santiago called me up. His office a throne room, dark wood, cigars, view of the city sprawling below. "Diego," he said, leaning back. "Good to see you back. How's the head?" "Clear enough," I replied. He nodded. "Job, well done last night. Los Reyes are crumbling. Marco's crew scattered. You cut the head off. Sent a message." He slid a folder across. "New accounts. Big ones. Need your eyes." I took it. On it. He smiled. "That's my boy. Numbers by day. Steal when I call. perfect balance. I didn't smile back, just left, folder in hand. Back home that night, house felt too big, too empty. Poured a whiskey, sat on the porch, stars sharp overhead. Thought about Elena, the rose I'd left on her grave. Not out of love, not anymore, just closure, a full stop. She'd chosen her path, dragged Marco with her, forced my hand. I'd wanted peace, a life. She'd wanted chaos, got it in spades. Whiskey burned going down, like the rage I'd let loose. Now it was quiet, cold, a hollow I'd carry. Next day, life kept moving. Work, coffee, numbers, Mateo cracking jokes, Santiago's empire humming. I was back, not the husband, not the fool, but the man I'd been before. Hitman sharpened by ledgers. Elena and Marco were dust. A lesson etched in blood mess with me. You don't walk away. I'd mourned what I'd lost, what I'd become, then let it go. Rose on the grave, whiskey in my glass. That's where it ended. So Reddit, that's my story. 5 years of marriage, betrayal, revenge, all wrapped up in one brutal night. Thoughts? Drop them below. Like, share, whatever. I'm here, breathing, working, waiting for Santiago's next call. Life goes on. Bloody or not. Around noon, he cornered me. Diego, you look like death, warmed over. What's up? He said, dragging me outside for a smoke. The sun was brutal, beating down on us as I lit a cigarette, took a long drag, let the nicotine steady my shaking hands. It's Elena, I muttered, staring at the pavement. She's screwing around with some guy named Marco. Mateo's eyes narrowed. No shit, you sure? I nodded, bitter laugh slipping out. Caught her stumbling home last night, reeking of him, checked her phone. Texts were all the proof I needed. He whistled low, crushing his cigarette under his boot. That's rough, man. What did she say? Didn't even deny it, I said, voice tight. Told me to keep treating her nice, or she'd ruin me. Or would she be waiting, ready to twist the knife deeper? Elena laughed, low and throaty. Look who's awake. You took a hell of a beating, honey, she said, stepping closer, her voice dripping venom. I glared, chest heaving. She rested a hand on the guy's chest. Meet Marco, Diego, she purred. He runs Colonia Centro and everything around it. Keeps things smooth, keeps people in line. You get what that means, right? I didn't move, didn't blink, but I knew power, control, danger. She grinned. He's big. Diego, head of Los Reyes de la Muerte, kings of death. And you? You just got your first taste of humility. She spun around, strutted back to Marco. He grabbed her, hands all over her, right there in front of me. They went at it, moaning, groping, lost in their sick little show. Elena gasped, glanced back. Watch me with a real man. Diego, like it? I kept my face blank, breathing slow, refusing to give her anything. Her eyes narrowed, pissed at my silence. She stormed over, slapped me hard, the crack echoing. Speak, you pathetic little accountant, she hissed. I met her gaze, fury simmering under my skin. But I said nothing. Marco laughed. Stepped up tough guy, huh? Let's see how long that lasts. The doc came later. Checked me out. No breaks. Just bruises. Rest up, he said. Handed me pills. I nodded. Took them. Hours blurred. Pain dulled. But my mind raced. Santiago walked in. Sat by my bed. Calm as ever. ¿Qué tipo de muerte? He asked. Smooth, casual. What kind of death? I met his gaze. Voice steady. Lento y doloroso. Slow and painful. He chuckled. Leaned back. Good. Stood. Adjusted his cuff. Rest. I'll set the stage. Then left. I lay there, waiting, knowing the storm was just getting started. What's with you? Elena asked, sitting up. He paced, ran a hand through his hair. Something's wrong. Some big cartel boss put a hit on my crew. Guys are dropping, others bailing. It's like we're being hunted." His voice cracked. Just a little, she frowned. "So what's that mean?" "Means we lay low," he snapped, then turned. Eyes sharp. "Your husband come back." She laughed, waved a hand. "Please. He's just a puny accountant, probably crying somewhere." Marco didn't laugh. His jaw ticked. "What'd he say he did?" "Works for some guy. Mesa something." "I don't know." She shrugged, vague as ever. Marco froze. "Mesa?" he repeated. Slow, like the name was a live wire. "Yeah, why?" she said, rolling her eyes. He didn't answer right away, just stared around at the polished floors, the pricey art, the life I'd built. "How's a small-time accountant afford this?" he muttered. Elena scoffed. "His boss is some rich dude. Relax. Diego's too spineless for anything shady. He'd piss himself near a real criminal." Marco's fingers drummed his thigh. "I beat him bloody." He didn't make a sound. She waved it off, too scared to scream. "Trust me." Before he could argue, tires screeched outside. We all snapped toward the window. Taillights vanished into the dark. Marco tensed, grabbed his pistol off the table. "Where the hell are my men?" he barked. No answer, just silence, thick and wrong. He bolted outside, gun up, scanning the yard. His guys were supposed to be posted up. Guarding, nothing. He edged toward his truck, yanked the door. Opened. 2 thuds hit the dirt. I watched from the doorway, saw his face go ghost white. 2 severed heads rolled out. His men, eyes blank, blood pooling. A message carved in flesh. He stumbled back, slammed the door shut, barreled inside. "Grab your shit. We're leaving. Now," he yelled. Elena blinked. "What? What's going on?" "Don't ask. Move." He grabbed her wrist, panic swallowing his bravado. She didn't argue, ran to the bedroom, stuffed a bag clothes, cash, whatever she could grab. Hands shaking, they bolted out. Marco's gun still drawn, the head still there, staring up like grim sentinels. He shoved her into the truck, jumped in, engine roared, they peeled out. I stayed put, watched from the porch, calm, cold, knew what was coming. Santiago's men were already on them. Shadows in the night. 2 black SUVs trailed, silent hunters. Marco floored it, swerving onto a dirt road, trying to shake them. Elena clutching her bag. "Who are they?" she shrieked. "People we don't want to meet," he shouted, but they couldn't outrun it. A 3rd truck blindsided them, rammed hard, metal crunched. Their pickup flipped, rolled, glass shattering. Elena's scream cut off, Marco cursing as they tumbled. When it stopped, they crawled out, dazed, bloody, but alive for now. Figures emerged, dark suits, guns ready. Marco reached for his pistol, too slow. A rifle butt cracked his face. He dropped, spitting blood. Elena screamed, tried to run. Hands yanked her back. "No, let me go," she thrashed. Useless. They zip-tied them, bagged their heads, tossed them into an SUV. Doors slammed. Gravel crunched as they drove off. I didn't move. Didn't need to. Santiago had promised me a stage, and the curtain was rising. They stopped in a courtyard, dust swirling under floodlights. Elena and Marco got dragged out, dumped on the ground, bags ripped off, blinking, coughing, surrounded by armed men, air stinking of gasoline and blood. A man stepped forward, white suit, sleek, smiling like a shark. "Welcome," he said, smooth. "I've been waiting." He helped Elena up, gentle but chilling. "You must be Elena, Diego's wife?" She stiffened, heart pounding. He knew me, revered me. Marco knelt, sweating. "You know who Diego is?" the man asked. Crouching, Marco said nothing, trembling. "Diego was my best hitman, before he mastered numbers." Marco shuddered. Elena stepped back. Santiago pulled a knife, small, perfect, slipped it into my pocket. "Back to your roots," he said. I took it, blade gleaming. Stepped toward Marco, no words, no hesitation, slashed clean. His screams tore the night. I didn't stop. Precise, ruthless, dropped his ruined face at Elena's feet. She froze, gagging. Santiago laughed. Lesson 1. Complete. I didn't answer. Just wiped the knife on my jeans, blood streaking dark, my hands steady, my chest hollow. The old me, the hitman me, had slipped back on like a second skin. Elena's eyes darted to me, wide, searching. Diego? She rasped, voice shaking. What? What are you? I met her gaze, blank, unyielding. What you made me, I said, low, each word a stone. She flinched, like I'd hit her, but I hadn't. Not yet. Santiago chuckled. Oh, Elena, you didn't know? Diego was my best killer. Before I put him behind a desk, numbers were his new weapon. But this is home. Marco twitched, moaning, a pitiful heap. Santiago stepped closer, nudged him with a polished shoe. Los Reyes de la Muerte, huh? Kings of Death, he snorted. Not anymore. He turned to me. Your call. Diego, what's next? I shut the saw off. Silence crashing in, deafening, handed it back to the guy. Blood dripping from my fingers. Santiago clapped slow. Beautiful, he said, exhaling smoke. And her? I turned, looked at Elena, crumpled, sobbing. The woman I'd loved, married, built a life for, now a stranger. A traitor. Her turn, I said, voice flat. She froze, head snapping up. Diego, please. I'll leave. I'll disappear. I swear. I stepped closer, towered over her. You had your chance. I told you to pack, to go. You chose this. We drove in silence, engine humming, Santiago smoking, me sitting there, blood drying, mind blank. Back at his mansion, I showered, watched red swirl down the drain, changed into fresh clothes, sat in that guest room, staring at the wall. Santiago came in later, leaned against the frame. Tomorrow, we're back to numbers. But tonight, rest. You earned it, he said, left me alone. I lay back, closed my eyes, saw Elena's face, Marco's, the chains. Aw's roar, didn't sleep, just waited for dawn.